I have seen a disgusting amount of anime. Animes that are weird, goofy, bizarre. But anime keeps getting weirder. So weird that... What the f*** was that? What did I get myself into? This summer 24 anime season was going to be my chance to take a break from anime and catch up with school and other life things. Well, that of course was the plan until this took over the internet. I haven't seen something like this blow up since the Oshinoko leaks. If you've been living under a rock, this is an anime called My Dear Friend Nokotan, a meme anime airing this season about a dear girl where literally nothing makes sense. Our main character Koshi, Dancing Girl, is supposed to be this cute, preppy, perfect member of the student council, but it turns out she had a past history of being in this world's Team Rocket. Now Dancing Girl has to do whatever she can to make sure this secret doesn't get out, because if she does, they will deport her to the south side of Chicago. On her way to school, Dancing Girl takes the Logan Paul Forest route, and to her surprise, a weirdo's hanging from the power line. So naturally, she has to leave her alone. Nope, just kidding, she helps her down. This would be the perfect time for Dancing Girl to run away and pretend none of this ever happened, like any logical being would. Of course, that would be if Nokotan didn't know about her secret of being in Team Rocket. Nokotan comes right out and calls her Miss Delinquent, which to Koshi is like calling her the worst slur you could think of. Now, you're probably thinking, how the hell does this dear girl know her past? Does she know her? Does she spy on her? Maybe a secret admirer? Well, to a normal person, you'd be right. But would you guess it's because Nokotan has gaydar technology built into her antlers? Yeah, I didn't think so. This show's a lot about gag humor, so I understand not a lot of things are supposed to make sense. Hell, the show has a Dark Souls reference in the intro. I'm not kidding. But one thing I could never figure out is why none of the other classmates, teachers, or literally anybody make any mention that Nokotan's a deer. Like standing right in front of them. So Nokotan is now in the same class as Dancing Girl, and it's Dancing Girl's sole purpose in life to maintain her perfect persona. This is a task that will be a lot more difficult than she would think because Nokotan decides to make the Deer Club and enlists Dancing Girl as president. What I would like to know is how the hell did this club even get approved? What faculty member in their right mind would see Deer Club on a piece of paper and be like, yeah, that's a good way to use our tax dollars? Over the next couple of episodes, we get more events that enlist the new members of the club. One being a girl who eats an absurd amount of rice, Bashime. The other is Dancing Girl's little sister, Anko, evil Dancing Girl, who would do anything to bang her sister. That is not a joke. As weird as that sounds, there are like 5 other anime with incest airing this season.
Good morning, my brother.
What the f***? From this point, the anime kind of starts to take off, but what devious things could the Deer Club be up to? Well, for starters, Dancing Girl gets locked in a gym shed from the inside. Of course, Nokotan's walking by, but she's off in her own world singing the most beautiful song about lost deer crackers. Fortunately, after contemplating the dark abyss of death and repentance, Nokotan finally comes to the rescue. But she wasn't there to save them. Instead, she was checking on her psychedelic mushroom farm. In the next episode, we're immediately treated to the most insane, theoretical, action scene that honestly outshines every battle shonen I've seen in the last year. Meanwhile, Dancing Girl opens her locker to find what we can assume is a love letter. After a heartfelt pep talk from Nokotan, Dancing Girl opens it, but it's a challenge to a brawl. Dancing Girl gets approached by a gang of delinquents who want to kick her ass so they can become the baddest badass of Japan. Or something. But not if Nokotan has a say in it. I know I just said that we got a dope fight scene. But what would you do if I said we got 2 dope fight scenes? Everybody starts going bonkers like they're playing Smash Bros. Melee, and just when you think it's over for Dancing Girl, Nokotan uses her secret weapon. She tosses her antler to Dancing Girl. Now, let's play a game. Which of these things do you think is going to happen next? Is it A, Dancing Girl will use the antler like a bat? B, the antler flies away carrying Dancing Girl to safety? C, the antler calls the authorities to come save her? Or D, the antler is a pipe bomb? In one episode, they start explaining how deer shed skin, and Nokotan goes through this too, which leads us to one of the most disturbing things I could have imagined coming from a show like this.
着るな。なかなかの通気性で。
They're literally just wearing another human skin. What the fuck? Another episode has the club playing the game of Dear Life, and I shit you not, they do a Smash Bros. Reference, and I had already wrote the script for that bit earlier before I even watched this episode. What the hell? Now, what kind of anime would this be without a sports festival? Dancing Girl's in charge of setting it up, but leave it to Nokotan to mess it up. By enlisting her own team known as the Deer Team, well, you can imagine how that went. In a race, an old lady literally gets the star power from Mario Kart. My favorite bit throughout the whole show is definitely when Bashime begs Anko-chan to become a rice farmer with her. Of course, she says no, so Bashime gets to work alone. Then Anko-chan makes rice balls to reward her for her labor. I don't know. I just found that to be the most heartwarming thing. Our grand finale finally falls upon us. In the end credits of the second to last episode, Dancing Girl heads to the club room and asks if anybody's seen Nokotan. But to her dismay, Anko and Bashime reply, and I quote, "Who the fuck is Nokotan?" It was almost as if her memory and existence were completely wiped from reality. Where have I seen this before? Then I had to wait a week to watch the last episode and finish this video. The episode opens up with Deer Assassins coming for Nokotan. But what about Nokotan disappearing, you might ask? And I said the exact same thing. But I shit you not.
前回ラストの最終回直前っぽいシリアスな引きはどこ行った？些細なことはどうでもいいよ。些細なこと？些細なこと。
That was devious. I was actually really looking forward to that plot, and they threw it away.
They stole it from me, Carmine! They took it! That was today! Today!
Nokotan says the assassins were able to track her down simply by watching the anime weekly. They just like me for real. So after she gets swatted, the Deer Assassins treat Nokotan like a traitor because she was living amongst humans. And when John Wilkes Booth finally pulls up, Nokotan must defend her honor with a dance-off. After a crushing loss, the Deer elites come to take her away, but Dancing Girl decides she's not gonna just let her go that easy. Dancing Girl finally lives up to her name, and she also partakes in the dance-off, only to end in a draw. This leads to the next event being a 2v2 where they have to read their partner's mind. Of course, they flop again. Fortunately this time, the student council shows up to save Nokotan. But guess what? They don't even play the game. The assassins have like a birthday party to go to or something. Bashime then delivers a letter to Nokotan saying that the #1 Deer Den assassin was on their way to get her, and that basically sends us to the final battle, the magnum opus, if you will, of the show. Nokotan's absolutely terrified, but Dancing Girl unleashes her true delinquent form and helps Nokotan in the form of an awesome training montage. The time finally comes for the WWE match to begin, and boy, can you smell what the deer is cooking. Nokotan starts with a quick 7-page muda, only to be slapped through each round. If there was a time for Nokotan to lock in, it was right now. She flies using her antlers and begins air striking like a US president in the Middle East or something, just to get KO'd anyways. It didn't even matter. After losing, Nokotan gives this beautiful speech, saying that she did her best. And in the end, that makes her the real winner. The crowd accepts that logic, and the Deer Club gets to stick around. You know, maybe the shikanokonokonoko were the friends we made along the way. And that's the show. I understand that the show's supposed to be like a total joke, but I think that you can have too much of a good thing. The lack of substance makes it very unentertaining, and if there was a dub, this is a show I would have turned on in the background. I understand episodic shows are supposed to be low stakes, and that's fine, but so many other shows do it so much better. Cowboy Bebop has a great cast and great music. K-On! Has cute autistic girls. It's like all of these episodic shows have something to offer, but my dear friend Nokotan just doesn't. It relies too much on, oh, this is so random, so it must be so funny. It did have some moments, sure, but as soon as something slightly funny would happen, the narrator's dumb would chime in and break the fourth wall. For a show that tunes into brain rot and meme culture, it just fell really flat. Maybe it's just a me thing because a lot of people do enjoy the show, but a lot of people also hate it. Not to mention, there's a distinct war happening on Twitter saying that Nokotan is trans because only male deer have antlers, but whatever. Then the other side's like, oh, stop, I'm horny and I don't like femboys, said no one ever. Like I mentioned, the show has this bit to be self-aware, and it was honestly the most annoying thing ever. The characters would constantly mention the narrator or make references to past episodes like, hey, look, it's that scene of you dancing from episode 3. If you want to check the show out, please be my guest. I understand that entertainment is subjective, and there's an audience for everything. Personally, I just don't think anime is that funny. I actually enjoyed the show a lot more as I was rewatching it, because I watched it in 5 times speed so I can get some clips for editing, and when the show didn't drag jokes on for too long, it was okay. So, in the end, I'm going to say this was a very average run-of-the-mill show at a 5.5 out of 10.